Coming up on Good Morning Wilmington Live, Kaylin and Matt are back to take over the plaza. Big Brother finalist Monte Taylor drops in via Zoom to talk about his journey to the final two. And 24-year-old entrepreneur Noa Mills stops by to talk about her organization, ReThink Edu, and so much more. Plus, world-renowned Dolly Parton impersonator Trisha Paoluccio stops by to talk about her recent show, Here You Come Again. This is an episode you do not want to miss. Tune in Monday at 10 a.m. right here on DETV.
Good morning, Wilmington.
Good morning.
Wake up, wake up. I know, we're not the most familiar faces for Good Morning Wilmington, but you have seen us a couple times this year. I'm Kaylin Pride. Next to me is my lovely co-host,
Matt Ford from the news. Nice to see y'all.
I'm so excited to be
happy
back.
Monday.
Yes, happy Monday
so
to you
we
as well.
co-hosted last week, but not together.
Yes.
So it's good to be back.
So
with
yeah, you co-hosted last Monday, and I co-hosted with Vincenza last Wednesday.
Yeah.
So now look at us.
And now we're back together.
Yes. All right, the photo op was nice.
Right.
Well, it's Monday, October.
I was going to ask what day is it?
Now my earring falling off in the middle of the show. Wow, okay, well, I wore pink accessories today, and Matt wore a pink shirt
because
it's October 3rd. And for those who don't know, that's like Mean Girls Day. Like, it should be like a nationwide holiday,
So is
right?
it okay that we're wearing pink even though Mean Girls Day doesn't fall on a Wednesday? Is that still okay?
Well, yeah, because like in the
fetch?
movie Mean Girls.
Is that how that works?
Fetch is not in style.
Fetch is not in
That's
style.
what Gretchen said on the movie.
Got it.
Yes, but no, if you don't know, on Wednesdays you wear pink in honor of Mean Girls. But it's Monday, but it's October 3rd, so we still had to recognize.
So had to celebrate.
Love the movie. It's like going to forever be a staple.
Yeah, it's like a cult classic. It really
not a
is.
cult. All right, Matt. All right, but anyway, how was your weekend?
It was good, it was good. I actually went to see the Dolly Parton impersonator who was featured on Out and About magazine. Her name is Tricia, and she's actually here with us in the studio.
She is.
She'll be here a little bit longer. We spoke to her. Literally sounds like Dolly's in the room. If you close your eyes, you'd literally hear like Dolly. Sounds like Dolly's here.
Honestly.
So the show is called Here You Come Again. And it was at the Delaware Theater Company. Sorry, it ended yesterday. But it was cool because they kicked it off in the first state. So they had the first shows in the first state. She'll tell us other places when we talk to her later about where you can catch her, where your friends and family can catch her around the whole country.
I'm honestly really excited to hear from her.
Yes.
I know you were
Voice is
raving
amazing.
about her and her voice and how she just sounds exactly like Dolly. So, all right, we don't have the real Dolly here, but
she was.
Honestly,
I wonder if she
was here.
We should probably tell her. Yeah, she was here a couple months ago.
She might know about the show, but I don't know. We'll find out later on. But for
What'd you do?
So for those who don't know, outside of my media career, I'm also a dancer. So I performed at the Chase Center this weekend at the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Shout out to my sorors. Their prayer breakfast at the Chase. It's a really big deal every year. It raises a lot of money. It's like 800 people, not just people a part of the sorority, just people in general come. It's a big deal every year, and it was pretty good. I haven't danced in a while, so my body's in a little pain right now. Not gonna lie,
She's
I'm
fit
getting a
though.
little old out here.
What they don't want is me dancing. That's not cute.
Well,
all 800 people would want their money back.
I can teach you to do a little 1-2 step. No?
Okay. We'll do that. Maybe in the commercial break, because that might not be too cute.
I'm screaming. But speaking of performing, we heard about some upcoming performances coming within 2023 maybe,
yes,
but
a big name.
Before we get into it, let's head on over to the couch for some morning tea.
All right.
Okay, so the first topic of our morning tea is the Super Bowl performance for 2023.
Exciting.
So there's rumors that Rihanna is going to headline Super Bowl 2023. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's about time. She hasn't performed in like 7 years, so I think it's
time.
good.
Oh man, all right.
You know, but I think she would bring out like really cool like guests, like big guests, like Jay-Z, Eminem, Kanye.
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing now with Super Bowl halftime performances, because I'm going to be honest, I'm more of a basketball person, so I'm trying to understand football. I'm not really like a football person.
So all you got to worry about is the Rihanna concert.
I watch this. Every year we go to a Super Bowl party at my aunt and uncle's house. Shout out to y'all. And we watch. I'm just there really just to watch the Super Bowl performance.
That's what matters.
But with that, I've noticed in the past few years, all of these artists have a lot of different like surprises and guests and things like that.
I mean, last year's was crazy. They had so many people.
Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre. I can't remember who else right now, but it was
50 was there.
50 Cent, yes, absolutely, and it was really, really big. But with Rihanna, I mean, I don't know. She's a billionaire now.
A billionaire.
Billion with a B.
Billionaire.
Okay, put some respect on her name.
And that's not even from the music. I mean, I'm sure that contributed.
It's from her business.
From the business,
yes. Fenty Beauty is like.
Do you own any Fenty products?
So,
Kaylin had to give me a kind of an education on what Fenty is. Clearly, I do not own any.
Yes, so Fenty Beauty is Rihanna's beauty line of makeup, but she also opened a lingerie store that's like. Now, I think the closest one to us is King of Prussia.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, and there was rumors that there would be one in Christiana Mall. That was earlier this year, so I don't know, fingers crossed. But if that happens,
that would be good.
Oh, wow.
They should do it in time for the holidays.
Absolutely. But I don't own any. I know.
You don't own any?
No,
Fenty?
as much makeup as I wear, I don't own any.
They'll send us some. They watch this show, I have a
absolutely,
feeling.
Absolutely.
Some,
But getting back to her performance, though, she hasn't performed in 6 to 7 years.
It's been a while.
I'm not really sure how this is going to go, to be honest with you. However, Black Twitter.
These memes.
Me and Matt were cracking up about this. I was texting him and our producer Naj over the weekend, like, look at these memes. Look at these memes about Rihanna. Check out this one.
So we're going to show you a couple.
This one is hilarious. It talks about Rihanna looking up her lyrics to learn them again.
So is that just like because she hasn't performed in so long?
Yes. Too funny. I mean, honestly, like, I don't blame her. You know, she might have to have a little practice.
Need a little brush up.
Little brush up. But what about this one? This one cracks me up. Rihanna at the Super Bowl trying to remember her song lyrics. Yeah.
She just keeps putting the mic down. She's like, oh, what are these words? Defeated. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this one
is good.
Was my personal favorite. Leaked footage of Rihanna's upcoming Super Bowl halftime show performance.
Just a straight up makeup tutorial.
It just shows her on the monitor doing her makeup. I know people would be pissed if that happened. And then this one.
This is hilarious. I was dying at this. Just look at their faces.
Yes, no, it says Rihanna giving the football players a makeover during halftime. Yeah, I think that'll honestly cause some buzz though.
Yeah, she should do like a commercial on this, like, giving makeup tips to the football players. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I did see that the NFL put something about Rihanna in their bio. To kind of tease it.
Okay.
So I think
And I saw her Instagram picture holding the football.
The football, yes,
arm. Yeah.
absolutely. So I honestly think like something's going down. Something's going down. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited for Rihanna in general. She just had a baby with A$AP Rocky. Yes, she's just had a baby. She's been laying low, but she's been on her grind.
Perfect time for a big comeback.
Absolutely. And speaking of comebacks, Disney put out the recent promo of The Little Mermaid.
I'm excited for this.
However, it's getting a lot of controversy.
A lot. Yeah.
And so basically Halle Bailey.
Who I keep calling Halle Berry.
No, she's not Catwoman. Wrong person. Halle Bailey. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Chloe and Halle, the singing duo that was discovered by Beyonce and everything.
Right.
Amazing duo, but now they're kind of venturing off, doing things on their own. Halle has now been casted as Ariel for
I saw
the
the
new
photos,
live
the one with
action
her like looking up in
Ariel
the water.
movie. It's beautiful. Halle has an amazing voice. She's overly talented and
she's really
overly
perfect.
gorgeous, but people are very upset because she's black.
I think it's long overdue. We only have one black Disney princess.
Yes, Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog.
And you know, I know this isn't the first live action Disney where we've had a black princess. You know, Brandy when she did Cinderella with Whitney Houston. That was a huge movie. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think it needs to happen. I wanted to ask you, you know, growing up, and you know, Disney's a big part of everyone's childhood in some way or fashion. How did you feel? Because, you know, growing up, you know, did you feel like you weren't represented because there was no black Disney princess?
I won't say that me personally, I wasn't, but I didn't really look up to these Disney princesses as someone
kind
that
of stereotypically,
right?
People,
Only because like I didn't see it until Princess and the Frog came about, and when that came out, I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
I think it was like in middle school-ish, so I wasn't. I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I love Princess and the Frog. I love all the songs. I love the movie, but I didn't really see that. Where I really saw representation when it came to Disney in general was on Disney Channel. So they had the Proud Family, That's So Raven, the Cheetah Girls was a real staple for me. Mm-hmm. I remember going to the Cheetah Girls concerts when I was younger. I got my shirt signed and everything. Shout out to y'all. Listen, I'm so excited. I'm still I might be, you know, an adult, quote unquote now, but I am still an avid Cheetah Girls fan. You cannot tell me any different. But that's really where I saw the representation.
Spotify later.
Listen, no, I do play them in the car sometimes. Driving home, like, you gotta strut like you mean it. That's literally me.
I love it.
But seriously, that's where I saw the representation, because shows like that on Disney Channel, it actually, you know, got young kids. They wanted all young kids to see themselves.
Yep.
All young kids to see themselves being represented on television. So now I feel like it's 2022.
Right.
And so what if you have a black Ariel? I mean, to me, you said it over the weekend, we were talking about it. Her hair is still red.
I feel like Ariel's trademark part of her is her red hair.
Exactly.
No, if you know Ariel was like brunette, I think I'd have a problem.
But you know, and the thing with Halle also, she has locks. So like our producer Noa, she has locks.
Yeah.
Same thing, but they just made it red.
Yeah. I can't wait.
It
I
doesn't
think
matter.
It's gonna be
She's
great.
a beautiful girl. She's
Voice
a
is
talented
phenomenal.
person. The movie I already know is going to be amazing.
Is it in theaters or is it just a Disney Plus thing?
It's
or both? Sometimes
actually,
they do
that's
both.
a very good question. I feel like it's probably going to be more
And
of a
next year?
Disney Plus thing, and it's coming out next
year?
year. But I'm
a
really
hit,
excited for it, and I think the best part about it is that little black girls
will
of
see
today
themselves.
are seeing themselves.
Right.
I know all over TikTok and all over social media, the movie has been buzzing, and there's been all these videos of beautiful Black little girls actually like excited to see themselves.
Yeah, that's so important.
On the screen,
right?
You know, as a Disney princess,
and
not just an animated Disney princess, a real life one.
Yeah,
you know,
it's taken too long. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's taken too long.
I think this is something that is going to be very exciting for the next generation, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Speaking of exciting things, we have 3 exciting, spectacular guests.
Absolutely.
Today.
Yes. First, we have Monty Taylor, a Big Brother
fan. I am what we call a Big Brother super fan.
Yes, he is.
So one of my goals is to be on Big Brother.
Okay.
I have to see if Ivan will let me miss 3 months of work for it. So I have to figure out about that.
That might have to be a separate conversation off camera,
But I'm so excited to talk to him. He was great. He was the runner-up, came in 2nd place. He was the first Big Brother contestant from Delaware. This is the, I believe, 24th season, and we haven't had a Delaware contesting it. So that's big.
I think it's really put Delaware on the map.
Yeah.
And speaking of being on the map, my dear friend Noa Mills is also a guest on today's show. She is the CEO and founder of ReThink Edu, and she just has so many other things under her plate. She's definitely a millennial in Delaware that is doing the dang thing.
She is doing it big
Absolutely.
time.
And then
published author. We're going to talk about all that
We're
stuff.
going to talk about all that stuff. And then lastly, you're so
as
excited
I mentioned in the I went to the Delaware Theater Company show this past weekend, and there was a show, Dolly Parton impersonator Tricia, who's here. We're going to see her after the break. She is phenomenal. Like I said, if you just close your eyes and she speaks like Dolly, you literally feel like she's here. And the show is fantastic. You don't have to be a Dolly fan. You don't have to be a country music fan. The place was packed. It was great. Sadly, it did end yesterday, but she'll be able to give some dates of other things that are coming up.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and up next we have Monty Taylor.
Coming up on the Plaza, Big Brother finalist Monte Taylor.
How did DETV start and how did you get here?
DETV started approximately 10 years ago in the basement of my home. I had an idea to show people of color doing great things, but what happened was I got to the point that I said, I'm gonna just show people all together doing great things. The motto and the moral was to bring people together instead of using media to rip people apart. And doing that, you know, I just did a lot of hard work, a lot of free stuff, a lot of things of just showing people being themselves. I figured that media, and I saw that media wasn't doing that, so I just decided to give it a shot, not knowing that it would bring me to where I am today. I had a great journey doing it, met some amazing people, did some amazing things, worked on some amazing projects, you know, and with just a lot of hard work and a bunch of sacrifice, I'm here today. I done worked on everyone's campaign in the state of Delaware, and now, you know, I'm just doing what I do and doing it with friends. My biggest accomplishment right now would have to be this, hands down, without a doubt. We want to make sure that we inform the community wholeheartedly. So again, they can have all the information that they need. For more information, you can find us at detvch.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook under DETV. Be sure to check us out. Tell me what you think.
Welcome back. Well, we are thrilled to have our first guest here on the Plaza this morning. Joining us for the very first time is Big Brother runner-up Monte Taylor. Monty is the 3 head of household winner, 2-time veto winner, and it is the very first time here on Good Morning Wilmington. We're so thrilled to have you. Monty, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, guys. Really appreciate the time.
Well, first of all, congratulations. You made it so far, and we're so proud of you. We were cheering from all the way across the country for you, and we're super, super proud of you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Honestly, when you're in the house, you have no interaction with the outside world. So I'd be talking to the camera, hoping that people were tuned into the live feeds or that it'll be edited into the show. So it's really nice to hear that people were watching.
Yeah, so Matt, I want to ask the first question.
Yeah, go for it.
We're glad to have you on the show because you are actually the first contestant to make it onto Big Brother from Delaware, right? How does that feel to represent the first state?
Oh no, it feels beautiful. I mean, I didn't know that going into the show because the whole process of getting there is super quick. It's super fast paced. At one point, like I just didn't have my phone. I didn't have access to the internet. And then I come out and find that information out. And it makes me very proud and it makes me feel good to know that I represented the first state, hopefully well, in coming in as a runner-up.
So we have to ask you the $750,000 question that I'm sure you've heard a lot now is, why did you take who you did to the final and not Turner? And do you feel like you could have beat Turner?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It's one that I've been answering a lot, especially right after the show. So just to take you back to where my head was at in the game, I'm a very logical, analytical thinker. I got my degree in mechanical engineering, so that's just how my brain works. So I thought about if I were to sit next to Turner, he had 3 HOH wins. He's taken out a bunch of big targets in the house. And to me, that's what I thought the jury would value the most. So I thought if I sit next to Turner, I would have to sit here and argue about the HOHs that I've had and the people that I've evicted in the house, which I just didn't think was a good comparison. Whereas with Taylor, I thought, okay, I have more competition wins. I've taken out bigger threats. I've been on the block less time. So I just thought that resume to resume, I would have a better chance of winning. But, I underestimated that woman's ability to connect with the jury and the story that she's had in overcoming a lot throughout the house, which you're just not aware of in the house. But from the outside looking in, I've become more aware of it. So, that was my thinking. I think I wouldn't have had any other information at the time that would lead me to think differently, so I feel good about it.
Nice. So that leads me to my next question. We asked a couple fans, and they wrote in some questions for you, some local fans here in Delaware. So one person wants to know, do you feel like Taylor used you to get to the final 2, knowing she was going to plead to the jury to vote that she was the underdog?
I don't believe that. I wouldn't like to believe that, you know what I mean? But the game it's a tricky game, right? Like there's a lot of things that you have to do in order to position yourself the best way. If she did, then more props to her. She was playing the game the best way that she possibly could, and she deserved the win in that way. However, in my head, it still logically made a lot more sense to take Taylor than it did for me to take Turner. Because again, I look at our resumes and I thought that it was just a lot greater of a margin between my game and hers versus me and Turner, who've played a very similar game in the house. So I own my decisions, and I completely take responsibility for choosing her.
Now, since we're on the topic of Taylor, a lot of people are kind of saying that was a situationship. What do you describe it as?
Yeah, I mean, I think being in the house, naturally, when there's less and less people that are there, you begin having more conversations and more time to get closer to people within the house. So I think that happened naturally for us. And, of course, I'm not going to sit here and say anything bad about Taylor. She's a very attractive, smart, beautiful woman. So it would be hard not to to find a way to become attracted to that person over time. So, but yeah, I think for now, like there's been some things that we've discussed around wanting to learn more about each other outside of the house, because being within the house, it's a whole different mind frame that sort of taints your perspective of a person. Like, all right, are they saying the truth because they're trying to say this stuff for game and all that sort of, you just think about things layers deeper than you probably would outside of the house. So, but yeah, no, I mean, we are staying at the same place right now with a bunch of the folks from the house, and we are friends at the moment. And, we're of course going to catch up and have some conversations about the season, because I still haven't even caught up on everything yet. But yeah, that's where things stand right now.
So I'm still talking about Taylor a little bit. Do you feel like picking her was a game move or the right move?
Game move or the right move? I'd like to say that I think two things could be true at the same time, which is something that Taylor would say. I think that it was both the game move and the right move, because at the end of the day, I felt like at the beginning of the season, I told Amira this, and Amira's here as well, but when we were forming an alliance and I saw that she was one of the few Black women in the house and somebody that I'm now going to be in an alliance with, I told her, I said, if I'm going to lose to somebody, I would love to lose to somebody who's going to make history. And it didn't wind up being Amira, but it wound up being Taylor. So I'm completely fine with that decision and fine with the fact that I could be a part of history. Of course, I would have wanted to win. And if I would have known things ahead of time, I probably would have done them differently. But at that moment, I think that was the best game move that I could possibly make, but also the right move for my conscience.
Yeah.
All right. So I did want to get into an episode that, every season sort of has like sort of its, highlights or lowlights, whatever they may want to be. So another fan wanted to ask, when calling out Kyle and the issue of race on the show, many that were watching were very proud of your honesty and candor while holding Kyle accountable for his actions, yet treating him like a fallible human being. Is there anything you would change about that conversation, Monty, or what do you think there?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that you guys are referring to the conversation I had with Kyle one-on-one in one of the car rooms. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I wouldn't change a thing about that, because I'm a person who operates in the frequency of love. Okay, like I can't sit here and hate somebody for doing something or completely X them out, especially after they've owned up to the fact that they did something wrong or they thought the wrong way. Because to me, once Kyle was able to come into a space where he was able to admit that his thoughts were rooted in racism and that they were wrong, to me, it became a lot more clear that he just wasn't thinking the right way at that time, but now realizing that he's wrong after it coming to light. So, I had an honest conversation with him about, how disappointed I was in the fact that he got to those conclusions and that he had those thoughts, because especially throughout the game, we had the most honest game conversations, right? So I felt like we were pretty close. And I'm not sure if that was seen throughout the show, but for me, it was just a tougher conversation because of my history with being one of the few African-Americans, Latin African-Americans who takes pride in both my Puerto Rican side, my Black side, and it's hard to get that across and meet people who are, open to learning about my culture. So, and feeling like I always have to conform and improve myself to folks of the majority of the rooms that I'm in. So to me, I just wanted to make sure he got that idea, but at the same time, hoping and wishing nothing but the best for him. And I hope that he makes the right moves from here.
What's your response or your comments about Terrence's response versus yours?
As far as him, what was his response? Because again, I'm still trying to catch up on everything.
Some people were saying that he took a more aggressive route, kind of letting Kyle know that wasn't right, versus yours was more professional and well put.
Yeah, I mean, I don't judge Terrence for feeling the way that he felt, because that is a very touchy topic. And especially for him, I think the reason why he was so emotional was because he evicted somebody out of the house the week before who was, of Arab descent, right? And he felt like he pretty much got convinced to do it because of Kyle's, manipulation within the game, right? So I think for him, he felt like he wished he would have done things differently in the game, and hence made him emotional about the fact that Kyle, went through with that sort of thought process and, made Terrence act upon it. So with me, I didn't necessarily have that emotional attachment. I just found out the news, but it never really impacted my game from my decisions, if that makes sense. So Terrence's reaction is his reaction. He's from Southside Chicago, as he'll tell you, and there's a different way of communicating. So, and he made sure that was known. So I don't judge him for it, but my response is my response.
Got you.
So Monty, what's up next for you? I know you say you're hanging out in LA for a while. What's up next, when you come here home to Delaware?
Yeah. Man, that's $1 million question right now. So I am sort of taking in as many opportunities as I can here on the West Coast, but when I get back, I definitely want to get everything back together with my online fitness coaching program, the Tailored Fit program. So that's something that I'm very passionate about. I love helping people just at least become more conscious of their health habits and focusing on their health. But with that, I know that there's a lot more that I want to do within that space now, especially with this platform. So getting that kicked and started, and eventually I do want to get into the podcasting space. I feel like my voice is something that needs to be heard. I love talking about mindset. I do it all the time for free. And I think it'll be time for me to monetize that for myself.
Now it's time to make some money out of it. I love that.
Well, your two first fans right here.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we're two of many, so we'll be following along with you.
I appreciate it. Appreciate
And
it all.
before we let you go, this Big Brother super fan right here needs to know, would you do an All-Stars if you were asked?
That's a good question.
You guys are killing me. It's so hard to answer this question after just coming out for 3 months, you know, and really it's more than 3 months, but it's hard, guys, you know, not having the connectivity to your parents, to your family. I missed some time, you know, seeing my goddaughter grow up, you know, she's walking now, oh my God. You know, it's just crazy, but as far as the game itself, it was so fun. I love the competitive nature of it. I love the fact that I got to meet so many cool people within that house, so many cool but crazy people, obviously. And you know, it was a fun experience. So with some time, I could be convinced. You never know.
Fair enough.
Fair answer. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Monty. We know you're out on the West Coast, so it's a little early for you, but we really appreciate you coming on our show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And shout out to you guys for, you know, holding up a great platform here and holding it down for Wilmington.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Monty.
Well, that was pretty good.
I love that, right?
I love that. I was actually really surprising to hear some of his answers.
Yeah.
So, no, that was really good.
Good guy. He did Delaware proud.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to take a short break, but up next we have the beautiful, the amazing Noa Mills of ReThink Edu.
Stay tuned. Entrepreneur Noa Mills is up next.
Let DART do the driving. DART First State provides transportation that is clean, safe, reliable, and affordable. Plan your trip and get real-time bus information with the free DART Transit app. Scan your phone to pay your fare with the free DART Pass app. So what are you waiting for? Try transit today. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
Well, welcome back to the show. Right now, we have the beautiful, the lovely Miss Noa Mills. I've had the pleasure of being Noa's friend, and we just have actually been bonding this past year a lot. We've been going out, we've been talking about all the things that she's have going on. You have so much, including your organization, ReThink Edu. So talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so just as someone who has gone through tons of schools. I went to 9 schools between elementary school to high school. I've been behind a lot of different environments, and I've had the opportunity to see a lot of things, but definitely just to really assert myself as a change agent for the things that I didn't particularly like seeing. And in this space, it prompted me to be able to really be intentional about the things that I want to see change. So my parents being pastors and serial entrepreneurs has helped me understand that, you know, anything that you are not typically satisfied with, you definitely can assert yourself to be the answer to. And as it really presented itself, I knew at that age when I started this organization in 2018 that all of the things that I wanted to do, I could. And I started rethinking education, and I titled my education ReThink Edu.
That's absolutely amazing. And I know, so with your organization, could you kind of go more into detail about, you know, what its purpose is, and who does it serve, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, so our purpose really is to serve the students of the state. As someone who has gone through the Delaware education system, I think it was only right to serve us here in the state. So I've had the opportunity not only to develop scholarships for students here in Delaware every year annually, I've had the opportunity to work with the DelDOT transportation system to be able to create community service hours programming for students here in Delaware, and additionally have just passed a law, legislation 615 2.1, that makes it mandatory for students to have mental health resources mandated throughout the state. So we've had a lot of success, I guess you could say, with making sure that we really are serving our students. And you know, it doesn't have to wait until you're older, or you know, you can really be a change agent right now.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I mean, I've known you, so I know all about all of the amazing things that you do. And prior to the show, I was sharing, you know, some of them with Matt.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm blown away. So an accomplished author right here as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, well, I have now written 2 books. Like I said before, my parents have been the example for me, truly. My dad has written 8. My mom, a lot. My brother and my sisters, 2 of my sisters as well. So we really are if you're thinking about it, put it on paper, family, because we do understand that shared knowledge is the best knowledge. And you know, our experiences, we've had the opportunity to utilize books as an outlet. So for myself, my first book that I wrote when I was 16 actually came from an experience when I was in the 7th grade. And we had a teacher stand up and tell the class, like, pick one thing that you're great at and like really just hone all of your greatness into that one area, and you know, just stick with that for the rest of your life and you'll be safe. And the change agent in me at 16 was just not having it. I really went home and I was like, Mom, like, this totally goes against everything that you taught me. And she's like, well, what are you gonna do about it? And in that moment, I realized that you never have an opportunity to complain, because you are always at the mercy of your own actions, and you can always, you know, present yourself as the solution to any problem that you come in contact with. So as mad as I was, and I wanted in that moment to be like, well, why can't we do more? I wrote a book called Why Can't I? And the book actually goes into just empowering young women to be all of who they want to be, understand that there's no ceilings to what the things that they want like to accomplish, where they want to go, who they want to be, and that was my response. And my second book is called Lessons from Behind the Desk, and that I published 2 years ago now with Barnes & Noble. I've had the opportunity really to hone in on my educational experience here in Delaware as an advanced learner, but also really to be able to speak about the things that I learned from behind my desk. So oftentimes we always hear like what teachers have to share, and as wonderful as it is, and I commend all educators because you guys are amazing, I think that, you know, sometimes shared knowledge from wherever you stand behind your desk as a teacher or behind your desk as a student, there's value to be shared there as well.
Absolutely. So where can people who are interested in your book find it?
Yeah, I want to get a copy.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I can give you a copy. But, you guys get special copies.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. But yes, anybody else that is watching, you definitely can go on barnesandnoble.com and just look up Lessons from Behind the Desk by Noa Mills, and it should come right up.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Any plans for the next book?
Oh my goodness, I am writing a 3rd, so
All right.
we'll see a new one
All
somewhere
right.
around next summer, but
Okay.
I'm really excited about it, yeah.
Oh, wow. And just so everyone knows, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Listen. Okay.
Done more with your life than most people have in their lifetime.
Young people are really out here doing
Right.
stuff.
are.
We're out here changing the game. And
Amazing.
speaking of changing the game,
Yeah.
you were recently honored at the Mills Summit
I was.
for the 2022 Impact Award, right?
yes.
Tell me about that.
I had the incredible opportunity to be presented with the Mills Summit Award, just as one of the most incredible millennials in the state of Delaware. And for me, it was such a large honor because I know a million millennials in Delaware that are doing amazing things that I can list off the top of my head. But having the opportunity to be honored with that, literally the lieutenant governor was there, like anyone who was anyone in Delaware was there that night, and it was incredible. But just to know, especially as someone who doesn't do what I do for recognition, it was just such a blessing for me, truly and genuinely and honestly, to have been recognized in that way. So it was very special to me.
So well deserved.
Absolutely,
So well deserved.
yes.
Absolutely.
I so appreciate it.
You know, I think one thing I'll definitely say about Noa, ever since I met you, I feel like a lot of the things that you do, like you just said, like they're not self-serving.
Yeah.
I love that you want to do good for others, and that's something that you're continuing to do at a young age. At a young age, listen, young people, you can do stuff too.
Right.
Y'all can
Perfect
do
example right here.
anything. And you know, one thing that you do, you spoke on it a little bit, but you give away scholarships.
Yes.
Tell us about that, the Noa Mills Scholarship, right? Tell us about it.
So through my organization, I've been giving out $500 annual scholarships to students here in Delaware on a need-based level since now 2018. I have had the opportunity to literally read, I think, over 300 essays at this point on a yearly basis, just of why students believe they deserve just this opportunity. And I think that it just goes to show how much it's needed. And I find that each year I'm like, okay, how can we do this more than once? Or like, how can we really figure out how to gain more resources to be able to give more? So I think that for me, it's been an incredible opportunity to meet very promising young people from Delaware that are really active within their community, really truly accomplishing incredible things. I mean, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, like with resumes longer than mine. Like they truly are active, and I think that really supports the messaging that, it combats the thought like, young people aren't doing things. They really are accomplishing amazing things here in the state, and I am really honored to be in a position to be able to assist them on their journeys about where they are.
No, I think that's amazing. So with your scholarship, these are just for college students, like what are the requirements for them?
I actually, the first 2 years we did high school students, and we got a lot of emails about, well, can we open it up to college students and beyond, really grad students. I opened it up to grad students, college students, high school students last year for the first time, and that 300 number turned to 497. So,
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was overwhelming, but I think overwhelming in the best way. And so, just like anything else, it really prompted me to be able to think about, okay, well, what's next for this scholarship? Like, how much more can we do to be able to serve these people? And as much as that need is present, let's figure out how we can truly be the answer to that.
Yeah. So where would you love to see the scholarship kind of develop in the next 5 and 10 years?
Oh my goodness.
Clearly it is evolving every year.
Over the next 5 to 10 years, I would love to see it become a partnership scholarship to which, organizations throughout the state could contribute. As we definitely see these numbers continue to rise, we definitely can see the need continue to rise, so the need is there, but the resources aren't always. So to serve 500 people with $500, while I am one strong and mighty young lady, I think that I think that sometimes being able to partner with people is also an awesome thing to do. So opening it up to other organizations that would love to contribute to the future of our bright young individuals here in Delaware, it would just be awesome to see.
So Matt just asked you about where the scholarship will be in the next 5 to 10 years. I want to know, what are your plans in the next 5 to 10 years, or for not even that, but what's next for Noa Mills? There's always something with you. Like every time I look on Instagram, I'm like, dang, like, God dang, like, what's going on?
I feel really good right now, and I'm loving it. But what's next for me? A lot of things. I think over the next year, you'll see me like ×2 everything I'm doing. And I think that towards the end of this year, we're slowing down just to prepare for everything that's coming in 2023. I've shared a little bit with you off air about things that I'm not allowed to yet talk about.
So, all right, teaser, we call that.
So we'll be back.
We'll
be back with more things. But 2023 is going to be an incredible year for me as far as opportunities, what you'll see me do, and the things that I'll be a part of. So I'm excited. I know I'll be back to share about all the things.
Good.
Yes, you will.
Right
We're going to hold you to that.
We're hush-hush at the moment, but I'll be back. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
It was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yes, Noa is just all around, just beauty. I know we have to wrap up, but you're currently Miss Claymont, Delaware. Shout out to Vincenza. Yes, Vincenza is actually
She's gonna be so upset she missed you.
pageant mom.
My pageant mother, Vincenza. If you watch this, I love you, and I wish you could have been here today.
Absolutely. Really quick, Noa, can you just share your social media pages with us? Where
Yes,
can we
you can
find
follow
you?
me on Instagram at the Noa Mills. That's TheNoaMills.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and I'll hopefully join you for Pilates
Yes,
again.
I gotta call you back about coming to Pilates.
Girl, listen, Noa had me in Pilates dying last week.
I'm going to leave that to them.
We love Pilates. We gotta get Kayla back in class. So force her to come
Maybe
back
a
with
beginner
me.
class.
Yes.
We'll see. All right, but stay
love it.
tuned to Good Morning Wilmington, and we'll be right back.
Still to come, Dolly Impersonator Trisha Paluccio.
Soon as I got here, I just felt the warm embrace of the community, man. Like what y'all got going on is wonderful. And no wonder y'all called the work group, because y'all putting that work in. For real, seriously, y'all getting the work done.
We are committed to creating the best Riverside we can with the community, for the community.
Our final guest today is one that I'm very excited to meet personally as a country music and Dolly fan. The star and co-author of Here You Come Again, Tricia Paoluccio, is here with us on the plaza. Tricia, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, so Tricia, the show just premiered here in Delaware.
Yes.
And it was for the past 3 weeks. I just saw it on Saturday, and it was phenomenal. You don't have to be a country music fan. You do most likely need to love Dolly, but who doesn't love Dolly, right? And how have audiences reacted so far to the show?
It's been just wonderful. They just really seem to love it and jump to their feet, and we're just thrilled to be able to premiere it here.
Excellent.
Absolutely. So were you always a fan of Dolly? Like, how did you get into this?
I remember so distinctly when I was 6 years old hearing Here You Come Again on the radio. And I remember knowing I needed to learn to sing that song. And this was before we had the internet and ways to look up lyrics of songs. And I remember I was at my dad's office and it came on the radio and I said, this song. And one of the engineers on a big TRS-80 computer typed out the lyrics for me. And I memorized it. And I think I was just pretty dumb as a 6-year-old. I didn't know you weren't supposed to copy. So I just copied the way Dolly sang it, every riff, the scratch in her voice. And so I've been singing this song since I was a little girl, and all of her music. I remember getting every record, and I cry when I talk about it because she has been a part of me for such a long time, and her music has meant the world to me.
You sound so passionate.
I am. I'm passionate about her.
And
yes,
that's amazing because, you know, it's important to actually, you know, love what you're doing. A lot of people don't, you know, always love what they're doing or talk so passionately about it. So it's great to really feel that emotion. I'm sitting like right across from you. And
I can feel it.
I'm feeling it.
Yes.
My children make fun of me because, you know, I start to talk about Dolly Parton, I start to cry, and they roll their eyes like, oh, here she goes.
Again, Mom. Here we go again, right? Yeah. So how did the show get started? Let's start at the beginning. What was the development of it?
Well, I've always, as I said, loved singing Dolly's music, and I'm an actor who does plays and musicals, TV, film, kind of everything to make a living. And this was something that I could channel Dolly Parton or sing like her, and I would kind of pull it out to be funny, and people would say, wow, you sound just like her. And so I knew, I was like, I wish I could do something with this, because I would love to somehow make a story where I could play Dolly Parton. And so I had this idea literally for 20 years. And I always had a vision that it should be about an Uber fan and their fantasy friendship with Dolly Parton. We already know Dolly's life story. She has told that many times. There are books, movies, stories about that. And I thought, I would really rather create a story where we can see Dolly in action, basically. So this was just a very generic idea that I had for decades. And in the early days of the pandemic, my family, we left New York City before the schools even shut down to quarantine in a little log cabin that my parents had in California that no one was staying at. Got out there and the world shut down. And just like everybody else in America, we were kind of stunned and thinking, what are we gonna do? Because our industry completely shut down, as you know, actors, theaters, and so it was a scary time. And my husband, Gabriel Barry, is a wonderful director, and he got out of the blue in April of 2020 an email from a theater in Florida Studio Theater. They wrote Gabe and they said, listen, we got a PPP grant. Do you have a show that you want to write? And he threw out this idea of a show where I got to play Dolly Parton. And luckily, about a decade ago, on a whim, I don't know, Gabe was talking to this artistic director and they were mentioning Dolly Parton, and Gabe said, oh, Dolly, Tricia does a great Dolly. And like through the phone, I just sang a little bit of Dolly, and he remembered that. And he said, write that Dolly Parton show. Wow. And Gabe said, hey, we don't have permission from Dolly Parton, we don't have the rights to the music. How are you gonna help us secure that? And they said, no, you don't need any of that to write a show. You only need that to produce the show. We only have a PPP grant to write the show. So we said, let's do it. So we wrote a show with our friend Bruce Valanche, a wonderful comedy writer. And the three of us spent a month and a half writing it. We did a Zoom reading of it for the theater and a few invited guests. And one of those guests was our lawyer, Tom Disler, who said, I think this is a great little show. I think Dolly would love it. I know Dolly Parton's lawyer. Let me try to get this material to him.
Oh boy.
So we thought, oh yeah, this will never go anywhere because that seems like such a long shot. But he kept at it, and we sent Dolly Parton the Zoom reading, the script, and some MP3s of me singing her music. And 6 months later, we heard back from Dolly Parton's lawyer that she loved the show.
Oh my goodness.
She had one change, one tiny note. She approved of me to play her forever and all time, and gave us the worldwide grand rights to all of her music.
Oh, wow.
So it's a huge deal. And so it was because of Dolly seeing the material and approving it that we have this honor to get to create this show and premiere it here in Wilmington.
I love that. So could you talk like her?
Yeah. Well, I sure could if you want me to. I mean, what would you like me to say? I'm happy to be in Wilmington, Delaware.
Right here.
You know, you just got to add a little bit of slur, and you got a little bit of the crackle, and
wow,
you
that's
definitely
amazing.
shocked me.
That's amazing.
You got to have that laugh and that little bit of scratch, and you know.
Oh wow!
Well,
I mean, if you were to put like a black curtain
there you
here,
go.
I wouldn't know. I would think I'm really
here.
talking to Dolly Parton.
That's
real.
one of the things that's really cute because when I mean, I dressed up for you all, but my normal look is I don't wear makeup in real life, and when I go out to see my friends after seeing the show, after the show, you know, I'm wearing my normal clothes. No one knows it's me at all. No one ever comes up to me, and. But when they do find out it's me, it's been really cute because everyone says, we thought you were lip syncing to the record because of the song. I appear when the character, as you know, the character puts on the record of Here You Come Again, and Dolly Parton comes to life through the poster. And everyone in the audience thinks I'm lip syncing, and then they find out that it's really me.
Oh,
so
it's real life, y'all.
you know.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of singing.
I know, since I feel like we had a little teaser, we need a little more
how about
here.
I sing a little bit of, I mean, I could sing so many songs, but I could do a little bit of Here You Come Again.
Yes,
let's do it.
Here you come again, just as I begun to get myself together. Let me skip to the end where there's the riff.
Okay.
All you gotta do is smile that smile, and there go all my defenses. Just leave it up to you, and a little while, you're messing up my mind and filling up my senses. Here you come again, looking at it, shaking me up so that all I really know is here you come again. And here I go, here I go.
Wow.
Gave me chills. Amazing. Listen, I know.
All I did was copy Dolly. We really thank Dolly.
I mean,
all I do is
listen.
literally go, you know, this is how she does it.
I know Dolly watches Good Morning Wilmington faithfully. I know
Does
she does
she?
for
Okay,
sure. So
good.
Dolly, this needs to make it right to Broadway. I know you're watching.
Well, we don't have the rights for Broadway, but we do
get
for
there.
Off-Broadway.
Okay, perfect.
And so, yes, we're really hoping we are going to be performing the show. We're doing a shared regional tour, which is a very unique thing. I don't know if people really understand during the pandemic how difficult it's been for regional theaters.
Yes.
So many theaters had to lay off their staff. There was no way to keep people in our profession employed.
Right.
And so it's been really hard. And as you know, regional theaters rely upon subscribers. And so many subscribers just pulled their subscription because there was no show, right? Now we need them to come back. So what we've done is we've partnered with a bunch of regional theaters around the country. Everyone's pulled together financially to put this on. And as we go to each theater, we're going to improve it. We're going to make little nips and tucks, and you know, and we're going to keep honing it as we hear what audience think and feel. So next up for us is Casa Manana at Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, wow.
We'll be going to Pittsburgh CLO. Studio 10, which is in Franklin, Tennessee, 10 minutes from Dolly's house.
Okay.
Look at that. Come on, Dolly.
I'm going to look you right in the
All right,
eye,
Dolly.
I've got to meet you, although I don't know what I'm going to do if I meet Dolly.
What would you do if she shows up to the show?
Y'all, I feel like I will be such a blubbering mess. Like it is it's going to take a lot for me to keep it together. But
Would you rather know she's not there
oh,
until
for
after?
her, I cannot know she's there. She's got to sneak in.
Yes. Okay. So
and I know
Dolly,
she likes
you
to.
can't
Don't tell her,
And she
Dolly.
needs to be incognito somehow. She needs to wear a black veil. Like everything has to be like, we cannot know that she's in the audience.
Right.
No, I really, no, you know what? It's funny because I think about that a lot. Sometimes I think like, what am I going to do? And I just have to say, you know what? Just do your show. Just do the show. Don't try to think. I just can't think about it. So.
Now, if so, you know, it did end yesterday, the run here at DTC. But if folks want, you know, have friends or family or they're traveling, you know, you're going to other cities and states for a whole year, right?
Yes, we're going to be following that. We're going to be at Goodspeed, which is a very well-known theater in Connecticut, where a lot of shows happen before they come into New York. So we are going to be going around the country, and new theaters are being added. So if people want to follow along, we have an Instagram account, Here You Come Again Musical, and there's a link tree there. And as new theaters announce the tickets and the, you know, they can follow along, because yes, you know, tell your friends around the country to come see our show.
Well, I'm coming to see you again, so wherever you
oh my gosh,
I'm going to show up again for sure.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Love that.
No, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for
Really
joining us
appreciate
today.
Oh, thank you. I really am so, it is the honor of my life to get to be in this show and to share this message really of hope. I think it's such a hopeful message, and it's just a total joy to perform it every night.
Absolutely.
You are so talented. You really are.
Thank you.
Very, very
Matt was
talented.
absolutely raving about it. I was so excited.
I walked in the studio and was raving. Guess what I did this weekend? I saw Dolly.
Yes.
So,
We're like, she's here again?
she was just here about a month or so
Here at the
ago.
Wilmington Public Library.
We have that little cutout, you know, in our lobby, and everyone likes to. You take a picture with it. You really feel like
You
you're
feel
with
like
her.
she's there, right? Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's the best.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck to you on the rest of your tour.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Our thanks to Tricia and the rest of the guests we had today.
This was a fun show.
Yeah, Monty from Big Brother was here. It was great speaking with him.
Yes, the beautiful Miss Noa Mills, my friend, absolutely amazing and lovely and always. And then Miss Tricia.
Miss Tricia, we had a great show.
Absolutely, this was really good. Well, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Y-Fly, Dart,
Balance, Strength, and
Fitness, for sponsoring our show today. And this has been Good Morning Wilmington. We'll see you next time.